let's get into bold predictions. What do we think is going to happen next? I mean, I don't know. I guess like let's just say next in terms of
the DCU.
Just whatever you think is going to happen next.
Sure.
In anything.
I'll go first. I think Sasha Calle, who played Supergirl,
Sasha Calle,
will return as Supergirl in the future DCU. I think she had a great performance.
Yeah.
I thought she was the best part of this movie by far. There was not enough of that character. Seeing that performance, like they should have just made a Supergirl movie, clearly. And I think there will be enough positivity from that performance that James Gunn and the DC brass will be like, okay, we need to do something with this character in particular.
I mean, Gunn has.
I dig it.
Gunn has said some interesting things. He was recently on it's with the actor who played Lex Luthor from Smallville.
Oh, right.
It was on his podcast.
Rosenberg.
That's right.
Inside You?
I think that's it. Inside You podcast. And Gunn basically said something along the lines of, he said this. I'm paraphrasing, so bear with me. But he said, Blue Beetle will be the first character
in the DCU.
In the DCU, and Superman will be the
first DCU movie.
Yes. Which
makes no sense.
Makes no sense as a statement.
I don't understand.
Very confusing statement.
Is Blue Beetle jumping something?
The way people are interpreting that is that he has no faith in Blue Beetle and said that.
But has faith in the character and the performance.
But as a movie as a whole is not super into the movie. That's what people are interpreting. I mean, maybe you could interpret it that way, but I believe, though, within the next 2 years, the structure of the DC movie franchise will be shifted again. Whether that's Gunn is out and somebody else comes in.
The Rock comes back.
Or somebody above Gunn is changed. I believe it's going to shift again before we see any kind of true vision.
So before the Superman movie comes out in 2025,
yes.
It already shifts.
It already shifts again within 2 years.
Why? Why do you think so?
Because I don't think Warner Brothers knows
or has the patience.
They're still going through this merger, even though on paper it's done with Discovery. There's still many moving pieces at the top, and as we all know, like all of us here have been part of big corporations. That shit takes forever to like shake out, and even once it's kind of been shaken out or whatever, there's still big changes, and things will just shift and change and whatnot. So I don't think we get a true vision of whatever is.
You don't think they gave him the time, at least like
make a movie?
Yeah, make a few movies at least.
No. They're not gonna let Gunn make a single movie.
They're like,
because I think they're gonna look at like what's happened with Black Adam, what's happened with Shazam.
But that's such a money loss, right?
And
like
that's not even
this is the third regime,
right. But
I have a hard time seeing that because I think like
it's a bold prediction.
It is a bold prediction. It is bold, but it's a corporation at the end of the day. They're not gonna blow more money.
But that's the thing. But that's a corporation. A corporation will look at it and be like, we are just losing money and money and money.
But
so at some point, somebody has to look at it and just say, maybe comic book movies and big IP franchises are just not.
But then that's
us.
not a shift. That's just an end.
Yeah.
So maybe your bold prediction should be DC movies will end in 2 years.
I don't know if it'll just end. I just think we will see a big shift.
Right.
And I think it'll be a big shift, and I think the big shift will lead to this idea of like, fuck this idea of making a connected universe. Just make good standalone, because the Joker, the Batman, these standalone things, not this idea of a connected whatever.
Sure.
It works for them. It's the second that they start like, we're gonna do this connected thing and
try
this
to be
thing.
Marvel.
Yeah, when you start trying to be Marvel, you fucking, and even Marvel lately is sucking at being Marvel. So I think we're coming to the end of comic stuff.
Are you saying that Gunn will still be in the head? They'll just not
I think so.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying they were gonna push Gunn out before he makes a movie.
I feel like Gunn has like plot armor on where he could literally do anything evil and he'll be fine.
Have you seen?
I'm
Guardians
not saying he's done
3?
anything evil, but like I'm just saying he'll be there for the long.
Yeah, I Michael brought up a good point. I think the success of Guardians 3 and the positive impact it had would make Warner Brothers more excited for him to
for sure.
get behind the camera and actually do his vision. Like I think that's actually beyond, because everything coming out the rest of this year for DC, he inherited, right? It's not anything he greenlit. It's just stuff he has to help push out and be a good advocate for, essentially, right? So if the first movie he's doing doesn't come out till 2025, I think he at least gets one.
Sure.
Because I think Warner Bros. Would be like, look, this guy still has it.
Sure.
He just made the best Marvel movie in a few years.
But again, I
Possibly
do think though
Right.
somebody, and it might even be Gunn himself, will say, "Listen, fuck this idea of the connected thing. Let's just do good movies."
I still think he
I
makes
could
that
s-
Superman movie though.
I think so. I agree with that, but I don't think.
I think you could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I could
I
definitely.
honestly
see
would be
Gunn
more
saying-
happy with that. Like some of the best DC things out there are
Standalone.
the standalone movies and are also the standalone animated things. Like the ACEU, I think is the animated DC universe or whatever. Those individual movies, they stand really, really well as individual films. There is like a common, run through whatever,
Yeah.
but individually they work really, really well. That's, I think if you're going to get close to it, that's what you should emulate.